My name is Orunmila. I'm an Ifa Priest, a young change maker, and an advocate for the knowledge of Ifa and the Orishas for our young people. I'm the host to the most popular Ifa Priest podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and all social media platforms. The Ifa Priest podcast is a podcast that talks about the intersection between Ifa and the Orishas and contemporary young people in the time that we have right now. It helps us to unravel the myths and the stereotypes about Ifa and Orishas to people. It can be downloaded on Apple Podcasts, can be downloaded on the Google Podcasts, Spotify, and all other social media platforms. As a priest, first of all, you need to understand that a priest being a knowledge paradox and an intermediary between the cosmic and the physical realm. Someone who interprets who diagnoses, like a doctor who obviously helps you to look out for what could be the root cause of a spiritual problem. A priest can do divination, which is obviously to know. You obviously understand that to know is to be free. So a priest helps you to know what could be the root cause of the problem. During the course of divination, a priest also helps you to interpret what could be the cause of the problem and the essence of divination for you. Besides that, a priest prefers possible solutions. Same way after diagnosis, a doctor obviously tells you, this is how to go about things. This is the way through which you can actually make things work out. So a priest, beyond the stereotype that a priest is different from an herbalist or an onishegun. So a babalawo is a priest. What a babalawo does is like a conventional doctor. So if you are looking at the current medical setup, a babalawo diagnoses, prescribes, and helps you to carry out different sacrifices. Sacrifice here is resonating with, say, you doing a surgery, a spiritual surgery. So a priest is a dedicated, an advanced spiritualist who, beyond diagnosis, helps you to unravel mysteries about some of the things that have been diagnosed about, and helps you as a teacher direct your path, help you to direct your path with the knowledge of Ifa and the Orishas, and also obviously helps you to solve all of the challenges you might be having using the knowledge of Ifa and the Orishas. So it is much more like a spiritual surgical operation. It is the same way we have a very big difference between a pharmacist and a medical doctor. The same way that we have an important difference between a babalawo and a priest. So I'm going to break it down. There are like 8 steps to the ladder before you become a competent babalawo. So there is an adawunshe. An adawunshe is, we are all adawunshes as people, because majority of us, in our houses, we have our parents who tell us, if maybe you have a running story, say, this is so adawunshe are people who do things on their own, people who have little basic knowledge about herbs and all that, and then we can provide solutions to different challenges. And then we move up the ladder to an onishegun, which is like an herbalist. An onishegun is no longer the general person or the societally acclaimed general person who obviously understands that if you mix, if you have jedi, if you use ephraim leaf and all that, you can actually cure your jedi. If you have a running stomach, you can use also leaf to do that. So an herbalist is an advanced adawunshe, who, or in other words, you can call an herbalist an alchemist who understands the energy embedded in each herbs and roots, and knows how to configure them together, knows how to add them and subtract them from each other, and how each and every one of them can provide certain solutions to certain problems. So in other words, an herbalist is like a pharmacist who understands leaves, herbs, roots, and all whatnot, in order to help us create medicinal product that can actually solve problems. Moving further, we have the Orishas. The Orishas are the advanced herbalists, and this time around, they do not just help you solve your spiritual problems using herbs alone. They now move to the Orishas. They now move to our Orishas, who are obviously they include the Orishas in the process of using herbs and roots to solve your problem. So as they are using herbs and roots to solve your problem, they also involve the orishas in it. So the orishas are people who are consecrated into various orishas. It could be Orisha Oshun, it could be Batala, it could be Oya and all that. So that is their work. We move them further to an Olopele. So that is the foundation of being a Babalawo. An Olopele is somebody who uses the Opele, which is like the 2x4 matrix quantum chain, to do divination. So the concept of Babalawoism starts from the Opele system. So before the Opele, we have the Olorisha uses the Enilogun for divination and for consultation in communicating with the Orishas for possible solutions to your problem. So basically, the Orishas use Obi for divination. But then after the Orishas, we have the Enilogun. Those are also advanced Orishas who use Enilogun in divination. So that's another hierarchy. So after the Onishegun, we have after the Adawonshe, we have the Onishegun. After the Onishegun, we have the Olorishas. After the Olorishas, we have the Enilogun. After the Enilogun, we have the Olopele. The Olopele uses the Opele divination. It's like the 2x4 matrix quantum chain for competent divination and to help solve different challenges. After the Olopele, we now have the Akeyo. The Akeyo is somebody who understands the nitty-gritty of using the Opele chain. And then the Akeyo is somebody who has been versed in the literature of Ifa and the Orishas. And now who can use Opele, who can interpret the literature of Ifa and the Orishas to people normally. And then before that, we now have the Akeyo, which is obviously what I just explained. Before now, I have the Babalawo. Now, the Babalawo must have gone through all of these stages from Adawonshe to Onishegun to Olorisha to all whatnot, and then understands each and every iota of the journey. So, but that's why they call him Baba Lawu, father of mysteries. Somebody who now understand all of the mysteries from each of the stages, and who can use the knowledge of those mysteries to solve somebody's personal challenges. So, a Babalawo is different. For you obviously understand the difference and the distance and hierarchy between a Babalawo who is a priest or a doctor in the conventional divination and explanation to an herbalist who is an Onishegun or a pharmacy or alchemist in contemporary explanation. Thank you. Well, I believe in Olodumare and I believe in Ifa and Orishas who serve as ministers to Olodumare. In the Yoruba spiritual system, we have Ifa, which we believe the same way the Muslims have Allah, the same way the Christians have God and all that. We have Ifa, who is center to our own race as a people that we refer to as God. We have the Ikinfa, which is like our own access portal to Ifa, through which we communicate with God as a people. So with that, we now have the Orishas, who have been given important roles and important energies and important peculiar energies to separate them and to make them intrinsic and ingenious in their own way. So we have Shango, we have Ogun, we have all of the Orishas who are ministers. So just like saying that we have President Buhari and we have ministers who, like Minister of Transportation, Minister of Agric and all that, people who are enshrined with statutory right and statutory knowledge and statutory energy to carry out specific functions for people. So say for instance, Ogun has the statutory right of a farmer. So Ogun Ogun Alagbede Akoko and all whatnot. So the same way with Shango, the same way with Oshun, all of them have peculiar things. So we believe in God, Olodumare. And we believe in God, we reach out to God through his ministers. So for those who say that we worship tree, we worship Orishas, we bow down for Orishas, we don't worship Orishas. We worship God through the Orishas because God has actually embedded in each of the Orishas particular energies that can actually, as in different ministries, that can actually help us solve our own problems. So what we do with God directly is that we give thanks to God. Well, Ifa has a universal language. Ifa is a universally acclaimed spiritual process. However, there are the knowledge And the interpretation of Ifa is much more enshrined within the Yoruba people, because the Yoruba people are aborigines of the knowledge, the sacred knowledge of Ifa and the Orishas. Although it is across board in Benin, in Cuba, in Brazil, in South Africa, and all that. However, Yoruba language, being the fact that Orunmila spent a majority of the time, Ile-Ife is like the cradle of human civilization and the cradle of the knowledge portal of our own progenitor, which is Orunmila. So Orunmila, being an Indian, an aborigine of Ile-Ife, the Yoruba, the cradle of civilization from the Yoruba civilization era, embedded the knowledge and the of Ifa and Orishas into Yoruba literary corpus for people to be able to understand, for the Ologberi, those who are not initiated into the process, to understand the language of the cosmic realm. So obviously the knowledge of Ifa is translated to various languages the same way the knowledge of the Christians, the Arabs, and all that have been translated into different languages. Each race obviously have their own prophet. So the way the African race, basically, with our prophet is Orunmila, and being the fact that his own immediate environment is Yoruba land, is able to write down, is able to embed, is able to store this knowledge in our own Yoruba literary corpus, or the Ifa literary corpus as it is being known. Thank you. Well, that's one of the questions that I am happy to be sitting down here to talk about, because over time, colonialism, slave trade, stereotypes, myths, and all of these things have actually impeded our thought process. It has affected our acceptability of our own spirituality, and in that case, it has changed our mentality and reduced our knowledge or the usage of Ifa and Orishas to a personal level. The contemporary world that we have, the world is becoming a global village, and then the world is changing, and we are in a tech-prone era. However, you need to understand that the knowledge of Ifa and Orishas are much more advanced than the contemporary or the current state of technology that we say the world is. We are advanced people, even before time. So currently, we need people to be able to understand that the knowledge of Ifa and Orishas, if it is greatly utilized, if it is greatly looked into, is needed, is suitable, is useful enough to be able to work in the different endeavors of life, be it in technology, be it in the arts, be it in sciences, be it in medicine, be it in all era, in all strata of societal endeavor. So the knowledge of Ifa and Orishas is valid and is useful in all these endeavors. So it is for us as a people to be able to begin to look at the knowledge that we have from a level of national consciousness, not from a personal level. I keep saying this. A lot of people go to the Ifa Priest or Babalawo only for personal reasons, because we know as a people that there are solutions to some of our personal problems here or in various temples or various spiritual centers that are ingenious to our own spirituality. However, what we've not been able to do is to now utilize this knowledge to solve our own national problems. You can imagine people going to Ifa temples to make divinations on the policies, that the economic policies the government can use. You can imagine research institutes going to the Ifa temples or the Orishas temples or the Olusegun's temples to find out the kind of solutions to different ailing health challenges and all of these things. So it is we as a people that we raise the knowledge that we have. The knowledge is there. We have confirmed that it is valid. People have tested it. Over time, people have tested the validity of Ifa and Orishas. But what we have not been able to do is we have not been able to raise that validity to a level that is useful for our programmers, to a level that is useful for our artists, to a level that is useful for our scientists, to a level that is useful for our technologists, to a level that is useful for our engineers. So you can name that strata of society that the knowledge of Ifa and Orisha is not valid. So it is for us as a people to be able to move away from the era that we used to have to be to a new dispensation, utilizing the knowledge of Ifa and Orishas in making sure that our society becomes better. Because there is no knowledge. No knowledge is valid if you cannot advance the cause of society. So we are saying that Ifa is valid. It is only if we wish as a people to begin to use the knowledge of Ifa and Orishas to advance the cause of our society. We can begin to use our own knowledge to solve our own problems, not using people's other alien knowledge to solve our own indigenous problem. Thank you. But thank you for asking that question, because this is a question that has actually been in play and has affected a lot of rhetoric about who Eshu is. First of all, I need to correct that stereotype. It is a stereotype and it has to be corrected. Eshu is in no way Satan. Eshu is not Satan. We keep saying it, and this is especially to those who are in the movie industry, who are in the entertainment industry, who continually portray Eshu as Satan. Please, Eshu is not Satan. So if Eshu is not Satan, who is Satan? Let me first talk about who is Satan. We have a spiritual system, and we obviously know that all spiritual systems survive on the principle of polarity. We know that there are positive forces and there are negative forces. In our spirituality, we call the negative forces Ire or Orishas, and we call the negative forces Ibi and Ajogun. So in the hierarchy of Ire, we believe that Aiku is the best of all Ires. That is, the best of all positivities in life is the ability to be alive. So being alive is the greatest gift God can give a man. While on the other side, Iku is the greatest undoing that can happen to a man or to life generally. It could be plants, it could be animal, it could be the life of a man. So what have you? Death and life are the two highest hierarchy of positivity and negativity that can happen to a man. Now, in the list of negativities, we have Efun and Edi. They are more or less. We call them Ajogun. They are even that is, it is the same God who created the good, the positive energies. Is the same God that created the negative energy. It is for life to become balanced, and it's for the world to be neutral. Now, Efun and Edi is what we call it. Is what we refer to as the negative energy in our own spiritual system. So if something wrong happens to prayer, Satan is the work of Satan. In our own spirituality, is the work of Efun àti Edi. Orí Efun ló máa ń fún ọmọ tó máa ń jẹ́ kó ọmọ ṣe tó yẹ kó ṣe. Edi ló máa ń jẹ́ ọmọ tó máa ń jẹ́ kó ọmọ hùwà tó yẹ kó hù, kó máa ń gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tó yẹ kó gbé, tó máa ń kú sí ìrànú. So Efun àti Edi, their own work is to kill, to steal, to destroy. The same way Satan's work is to kill and destroy. So Satan is translatable to Efun and Edi. Efun and Edi, not Eshu. Eshu to us, Ọlá ìlú. Eshu Ọlá ìlú. In Yoruba, Ọlá is synonymous to wealth. So if we say we believe that Eshu is the wealth of the community, Ọlá ìlú òkìrì òkò, ògìrì òkò, ó sunjẹlẹ́kún lọ. It shows how compassionate Eshu can be, for him to be able to cry more than the bereaved. For ẹlẹ́kún sunkún òun sun ẹ̀jẹ̀, mi ṣùgbọ́n onímí ṣùgbọ́n òun ṣùfún. At least while you are thinking for yourself, Eshu is even thinking much more advanced than you. So in that regard, we see how important Eshu. There is no Babalawo, there is no Onisegún. We know, for those who have tested it, how important Eshu. In fact, Eshu is the leader of the spiritual pantheon of all the Orishas that worked on the earth, not in water. So lórí ilẹ̀, Eshu is the leader of all the Orishas that work on the earth. So how can we now say that kind of person is demonic? Because Satan, according to what the Christians believe, Satan is the opposite of Jesus Christ, more like the negative energy that negates the energy of Jesus Christ. So Eshu does not negate the energy of Olodumare in our life. In fact, Eshu is the torch bearer, the ashe that makes the wish or the will of Olodumare come to life or come to pass in our own lives. Eshu is the messenger who helps us to translate, or who carries all our own grievances to Olodumare. Is the one who helps us, or who explains in a way that is knowledgeable to Olodumare, or the way that Olodumare will understand, and Olodumare will be compassionate enough to solve our problems. Is the one who helps us. Tabarubo láyé Eshu láti fún, because kò sẹ́ni tó mẹjọ́ rò bí Eshu, kò sẹ́ni tó mọṣẹ́ ṣe bí Eshu. Ayára bí àṣà ni. Is fast, is witty, is knowledgeable. When it comes to, in fact, Eshu is the Orisha behind the knowledge of science and sound, and the Eshu is importantly the Orisha behind knowledge of programming language and all of these things. So Eshu is an advanced Orisha, and you cannot do without him, because he leads the pack on the face of the earth. However, people continually tarnish his image, and people continually call him what he is not. Eshu is not Satan, because in our own spirituality we don't have Satan. So I want us to correct that stereotype that Eshu is Satan. Eshu is not Satan. Alright, thank you very much for having me once again. on this the Ifa Priest TV exclusive interview. I want to talk to young people because as an advocate for social change, I think it is important for young people to first of all understand that to know is to be free. And then to know what? You need to understand yourself, you need to know yourself, and you need to understand your environment. The education that you have that cannot solve your immediate societal problem is not an education. So you need to be educated about your spirituality, you need to be educated about yourself, you need to be educated about your immediate environment, because that will help you in utilizing the knowledge of your immediate environment in solving the challenges of your own strata. If you are a scientist, if you are a technologist, in all endeavors or in all strata of endeavors you might have found yourself, please, you need to come back home and you need to stop demonizing your own spirituality, because there is no race on the face of the earth that will demonize their own culture, that will demonize their own spirituality and expect that they are going to advance as a people. So for us as young people, it's time for us to begin to look inwards and begin to see our spirituality and not as something that is evil, but as something that is important, whose knowledge is important for us to become better people and to become a better society. My name once again is Olawole Olakunle, and please download, stream, listen to the Ifa Priest podcast. It's an Afrofuturist podcast that talk about Ifa Orisha, and it unravels many stereotypes about our own African spirituality. Please listen to it. It's on Apple Podcast, it's on Google's Podcast, it's on Spotify, it's on Shazam, it's on Boomplay, it's on all platforms. Just search for it, download it and listen to it. And please keep watching and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Ifa Priest TV. Thank you.